Hey there, everybody. I believe I am live. Please let me know if you can see me live. Let's see, I'm going to try to pull up my YouTube chat here. Let's see. Hello, everyone. Can you see me? Let me know, please. Let me know. Good morning. Hello in the chat. Good morning. My name is Kenan, the Chinese Tones guy. How's it going, everybody? I see Betul in the chat. I think we're working. How's it going, everyone? Let me know in the chat if you're here. I'm going to try to say hello in the chat. Ni hao. Ni hao. How's it going, everybody? I'm not sure why I can't see my chat in OBS. That's interesting. But maybe I will be able to fix that at some other point. Okay, well, without further ado then, I'm going to get us started. Can you all hear me okay? Can you please type a 1 in the chat? Go ahead, type a 1 in the chat if you can hear me all right. I think this is the first time I'm doing a horizontal live on this account, so trying a lot of firsts today. My voice sounds a bit low. How's that? Is that better? Hello, hello, testing the mic. Testing, 1, 2, 3. We are trying to optimize audio levels here. How does this sound? Thanks for that note. I can maybe move my microphone a little closer as well. How does that sound now? Testing. All right. Great. Well, there we go. All right, thank you for that note. Well, welcome. 欢迎来到我的直播间. Welcome to my live stream. So, who am I? My name is Kenan Heppy. Some people know me as the Chinese Tones guy. I am the guy who went to China, learned Chinese as an adult. I took my skill of acting and brought it to the Chinese market, and I actually became pretty well known in China. I got to act in Chinese movies and TV shows. Pretty much all of my dreams came true. So right over here you see some screenshots and pictures of my movie posters and things like that. Hello Nina. That's me in the 3 Body Problem up there, in the chemistry show, Red Star Over China. Yeah, all of my dreams came true as an actor in China because I learned Chinese, and I learned Chinese as a second language as an adult, and you can too. Hey, thanks so much. Yeah, go ahead and make sure you like the screen, tap the screen, like, share, comment, help it be shared with a lot of other people. I think the algorithm doesn't know my account much as a horizontal content creator because I'm known pretty much through shorts, and these horizontal streams are a little different. So this is kind of like my first full-length content as far as the algorithm's concerned. Now let's see if I'm able to play you a little snippet of that that reel here to see me in some of those movies. Let's see if this works. Let me know if you can hear this. There's the 3 Body Problem. Red Star over China. Snipers with
Here's what
Zhang
you have to
Yimou.
say. They're going to be curious about who you are.
I want go out, play one play, walk street, look things.
Can you guys hear this? Type a one in the chat if you can hear the reel.
Joe aims to save all lives. Let's try.
Anyway, so that's fun. Hey, could you guys hear that? Can you let me know in the chat if you were able to hear that? That would be super helpful for me as I'm setting up this equipment and everything. That's great. That's awesome. So those were clips from me in the Chinese movies and TV shows that were only possible because I learned Mandarin Chinese and also because I got my pronunciation right. So right from the beginning, I made sure that I knew how to pronounce all of the tones and all of the initials and finals with great accuracy. Now, what did this do? This helped me learn Chinese much faster because my mind had context for the sounds that it was hearing. And so that's what I want to help other people do now. I want to help other people chase their dreams with Chinese, but I want to make sure that their pronunciation is correct. So anyway, in today's live stream, this is the agenda right here. We're going to look at some warm-up vocabulary, and I've broken this out into vocabulary sets that are friendly for all levels. Okay, so all levels. We're going to learn some Chinese right now. So if you're just waking up or wherever you are in your day, even if you're just listening to this broadcast, if you're remotely interested or very interested in learning Chinese, it's going to be very good for you to just keep this on. And as I'm pronouncing these words, try to listen and repeat if you can. It's going to be funny if you're in a crowded subway or in a taxi and the people around you don't know what you're doing. So if it's not too awkward, please listen and repeat and try to make the same sounds that I'm making. We're going to look at some HSK3 reading and grammar. Some HSK 4 and 5 vocab is going to be here as well. And we're going to look at some extras. Okay, so this is what we're going to read right now. All right, you all are going to read this with me right now. Alopa says, Ni hao from Nanjing. Hello, how's it going? So this is breaking news, everybody. I think it's very important to learn how to discuss current news events, right? You want to be able to share your opinion or at least understand what's going on and understand how Chinese people discuss what's going on. So this is breaking news. I'm going to read this first, and then we are going to break down some vocabulary, okay? So bear with me as I look over to the side and read this out loud. 特朗普要求解雇美劳工统计局局长 That's the headline. 根据美国劳工统计局周五发布的报告，7月非农就业人数增加 7.3 万人。此前2个月的数据被大幅下修了近26万人。过去3个月，非农就业人数平均仅增长了 7.5 万人，为新冠疫情以来最糟。All right, so that is the news article. Now, what are we saying here? What the heck is going on here? Well, we're going to look at a vocabulary set, and we're going to want to pay really close attention to the 4 tones, right? And we have those right here, the 4 tones. Now look, if you know this, just bear with me for a sec. If you don't know this, this is a great time to learn or just review, okay? So there are only 4 tones in Mandarin Chinese, which is great. We don't actually have to learn that much. Now, what is this graph here? From high, medium, low, this is what we can think of as our normal speaking range. So right here in medium, the medium is basically just our normal speaking voice. Just our normal speaking voice. High would mean toward the high end of our normal speaking range. We're not talking about going falsetto. We're not talking about going up here. Right? For me, is more like there. Me, that's for me. So the absolute pitch is going to be different person to person because it's relative to your speaking range. And low is the low end of your normal speaking range. Okay, we don't want to stress our body out by having to go way down and like very guttural like that. It's just the low end of our normal speaking range. Now the first tone is high, flat, and unchanging, as denoted in this line right here. All right, high, flat, and unchanging. That's the first tone. Now the second tone. It starts out at our normal speaking pitch and steadily rises. That's the second tone. The third tone falls and rises. Now I want you to pay attention to the fourth tone here. The fourth tone, which also falls, but take note that the fourth tone begins higher than the third tone does. Okay, so with the third tone, we're starting a little below our normal speaking voice. We're slowly lowering pitch and then we rise up again. And the fourth tone falls starting at the high end of our pitch. And it goes like that. Ba. So the fourth tone sounds like that. Okay, that's great to keep in mind as we look at some vocabulary. What's up in the chat? Hey, if you are learning Mandarin Chinese, let me know in the chat. Type me in the chat or something like that. I want to know who you are. I want to call you out and congratulate you for being here learning Mandarin Chinese. Let me know where in the world you're tuning in from, because that's always pretty cool. Olopas said, Ni hao from Nanjing. All right. So this is some of the basic vocabulary for today, okay? We've got 特朗普, Trump. 特朗普, that's Donald Trump. That's how we say Donald Trump in Mandarin Chinese. 特朗普. Now, this is not a political channel, okay? I'm not sharing political opinions here. We're learning Mandarin Chinese here. So it's very important, in my opinion, to know how to say the name of the President of the United States in Chinese. Oh, Scooby says, going strong almost daily since January from Germany. Wow, that's awesome. Awesome. All right, well, thank you for being here. Okay, so 特朗普, notice it has a fourth tone, third tone, right? Fourth tone, third tone, third tone. And I don't know if you notice this, but it's pretty convenient that the tone marks tell us what we're doing with the pitch of our voice, right? The tone marks tell us what we're doing with the pitch of our voice. So these tone marks will literally be placed on top of the pinyin transcriptions. Okay, so we have 特朗普. Now, 特朗普is actually pronounced as a fourth tone, second tone, third tone, because when we have 2 consecutive third tones in a row, the first tone in the pair is pronounced as a second tone. So this is 特朗普, 特朗普. Go ahead and repeat after me. 特朗普. Very good. We then have 要求, 要求, which means to demand. 要求. Are you listening and repeating after me? Because this is a good opportunity if you're listening in. All right. 要求. USA, the United States. How do we say that? 美国. 美国. That's third tone, second tone. 美国. 美国. Now that one, some Chinese learners, and including myself at the beginning, that combination of tones was a little difficult for me. A third tone followed by a second tone. It just takes practice. You just trudge through it for a little bit, maybe start slowly, and then pick up speed later. 美国, 美国. You can also draw the tone in the air as you say it out loud. That can sometimes help as well. Because what we're really trying to do is get these tones into our muscle memory. So if you can kinesthetically help yourself out like that, that's also a cool technique, right? 美国, 美国. Okay, then we have Friday, 周五, 周五. 周 means week and 五 means 5. So Friday is the 5th day of the week. 周五. Oh, Scooby says, isn't yao usually the 4th tone? Yeah, it typically is, but not in 要求. Yeah, so some characters and words can have multiple pronunciations. Yeah. Good looking out there. Good looking out there, Scooby. I'm glad you noticed that. Then we have 发布, 发布, which is to release or publish. 发布. Then we have report, 2 4th tones on this one. 报告, 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 报告. All right. Hey, Menace says, 你好. What's up, Menace? Then we have the word for 10,000. All right, this is very important. 10,000. One. One. That's just a single syllable with a 4th tone. One. All right. So with some of the basic vocabulary here, one moment. With some of the basic vocabulary here, excuse me, can you notice anything in the headline now? 特朗普要求解雇美劳工统计局局长. Well, look, we had 特朗普, that's President Donald Trump, 要求 demanded something. What did he demand? There's a short form for the USA right here. Now we will have to go into some extra vocabulary to understand the rest of the headline. Oh yeah, we are learning Chinese here. And we're paying very close attention to our pronunciation because tones and pronunciation absolutely matter. They just are so crucial with Mandarin Chinese. Some people might tell you that tones don't matter in Chinese. They'll say, oh, don't worry, we don't think about tones. Native Chinese speakers don't think about tones because they grow up with them and learn them as babies and children. It's kind of like if I said, as a native English speaker, oh, don't focus on grammar. We don't think about grammar. We don't think about grammar because it's automatic now. It's automatic. And tones and meaning can really only be guessed and deduced in conversation if the stakes are very low and if context is incredibly obvious. Like if you're at the store and you're buying milk and cereal or strawberries or something, and you point to the store clerk and you just butcher the pronunciation, they can guess what you mean because they see you're in the store and you're pointing to something. Very low stakes situation where pronunciation doesn't really matter, right? You wouldn't even have to speak. You could just hold money, your thoughts, and your background to people over the phone or to people who don't have the knowledge that you have. And if you're trying to have a deep relationship with someone and strengthen a real bond with someone, you don't want them to have to constantly be guessing what you mean, right? When we think of fluid and smooth conversations, they aren't conversations where we are constantly guessing what the other people mean when they speak. We usually want to speak in a way where we are just clearly understood. Yes, it's so fun. Chinese character, pictographic meaning. It's pretty awesome. Now, we have more advanced vocabulary here, right? So, to fire or dismiss, we see that in the text that we're learning today. To fire or dismiss, 解雇, 解雇. That's third tone, fourth tone. Just listen and repeat after me. 解雇, 解雇. Great. That's to fire or dismiss. 解雇. Now we have 非, 非, which has multiple meanings. 非, but in the context of this article, it means non something, right? Like, I'll give it away. So in the text, we're talking about non-farming jobs numbers, right? So they put this in the front to mean non, and then the farming jobs numbers. 非, 非. Then we have data. 数据, 数据. That's two fourth tones. 数据, 数据, 数据. Great. Now we have substantial. 大幅, 大幅. All right, that's a fourth tone and a second tone, right? We have a falling tone right here, and then a rising tone. 大幅, 大幅. Let me know in the chat if if you're finding this helpful. Right? If you're learning Chinese and you're finding this helpful, type a 1 in the chat. Because this is kind of a new format. I'm testing this out. Go ahead and let me know. 大幅, average. 平均, 平均. That's a second tone, first tone. So we have a rising tone, then the flat high tone. 平均. Then we have since. 以来, 以来. That's third tone, second tone. 以来. And then statistics. 统计. 统计. Which means statistics. That's third tone, fourth tone. 统计. Great. Awesome, Scooby. Now, this is our vocabulary of the day. 解雇, 非, 数据, 大幅, 平均, 以来, 统计. Great. So now let's go back to, and by the way, I'm going to talk about this in a second, but if you are just starting out with Chinese, okay? If you're just starting out, if you've been learning for a while, let me try to rephrase this. If you're just starting out, right, you need to understand how to pronounce everything in Mandarin Chinese. You need to learn the tones, and you need to know all the initials and finals, and you want to build a very strong foundation for your pronunciation so that you can learn Chinese and become fluent much faster. If you've been learning for a while, but you realize that you're still struggling to hear what Chinese speakers are saying or understand, or you're struggling to be understood, if you know that there's something wrong with your pronunciation, but you don't exactly know what, I would highly recommend going to the Chinese Dojo. That is a program that I have been meticulously working on for over a year. Okay, and it's launching soon. It hasn't even launched yet. So I'd love you to check that out and join the wait list, because the people who get on my wait list are going to get the best offer and the best deal. So that's the ChineseDojo.com. I'm going to talk about it in a little bit, but it's this incredible program that involves videos with practice with me, quizzes, and speaking practice where you submit audio files and you get your Chinese pronunciation actually evaluated by a real human being, which most likely is me, because right now I'm the only one doing it on the team. We're doing a focus group right now, and it's awesome. I have like 20 people testing out the platform. They record their Chinese exercises, and I grade their pronunciation and tones. So I would highly recommend getting on that wait list if you can. Okay, so let's go back to the news article. So breaking news as of yesterday. 特朗普要求解雇美劳工统计局局长。特朗普要求解雇美劳工统计局局长。Trump demands the firing. Trump demands the firing of the USA Labor Statistics Director. Or in other words, Trump demands the firing of the director of the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. All right, so this is breaking news as of yesterday. So this is pretty awesome, right? We can now, with some of these words, we can have a real conversation with things that are happening in the world right now. Now let's start here. Okay? 根据美国劳工统计局周五发布的报告。All right, so according to the report published on Friday, 周五 Friday, by the American Bureau of Labor Statistics. According to the report published on Friday by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, 根据美国劳工统计局周五发布的报告。7月, that's July. So something about July. 非农就业. 非 is that non, right? And 农 is farmer. 人数增加了 7.3 万人. So we added, remember 1 means 10,000. So 7.3 times 10,000 equals 7. Oh, you can't see my you can't see my math there. So the character 1 means 10,000. When we put a number in front of it, we're multiplying that number by 10,000. Right? So 7.3 times 10,000, right, is 73,000. So that is how we say 73,000. 7.3万人. Okay? So what are we saying here? In July, the non-farming labor numbers, so the non-farming payrolls, basically, because we understand we're talking about jobs reports, the non-farming payroll numbers increased by 73,000. Okay? 7月非农就业人数增加 7.3 万人. 此前 for the previous 2 months, 2个月的数据被大幅下修了近26万人. So the previous 2 months' data was substantially revised downward by 260,000. The previous 2 months' numbers were downgraded by 260,000. 过去3个月 For the past 3 months, 过去3个月非农就业人数平均仅增长了 7.5 or no, not 7 3.5 万人. So for the previous 3 months, the non-farming payroll average was only increased by 35,000, which is the worst since the C virus pandemic. I'm not sure if I can say that word on YouTube right now, but 为新冠疫情以来最糟, which is the worst since the global pandemic. All right. So I'm going to read through that one more time. But basically now we know how to say Trump demands the firing of the director of the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, according to the United States, according to the report published on Friday by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. The July non-farming payrolls increased by 73,000. For the previous 2 months, the data was substantially revised downward by 260,000. It turns out that for the past 3 months, the non-farming payroll average only increased by 35,000, which is the worst since the pandemic. 特朗普要求解雇美劳工统计局局长。根据美国劳工统计局周五发布的报告，7月非农就业人数增加 7.3 万人。此前2个月的数据被大幅下修了近26万人。过去3个月，非农就业人数平均仅增长了 3.5 万人。为新冠疫情以来最糟。All right. How does that sound, everybody? Were you able to follow along with some of that? Did you pick out some of the vocabulary that we just learned? Scooby says, does million have its own character, or is it 101? That is such a fantastic question. Scooby, that is such a fantastic question. Yes, 1 million in Chinese is you say the word for 100 and then you say 1. So it's 110,000s. 百万 or 100万 because 100 is 100. So say you would say 100万, which would be 1 million. Now there is a character for 100 million. There's a single character that means 100 million, and that is pronounced E. E. Which is only one tone different from E, which means 1. So the difference between 1 and 100 million in Mandarin Chinese is a single tone. Of course, they're written with different characters, but the pronunciation difference is a single tone. So in Chinese, E, that's how we pronounce 1. And E is 100 million. So there we go. Why are tones so important? Because you see it right there. That's a good example. How many apples would you like? E. 100 million apples. Now, I think it'd be pretty obvious that that's not what you wanted if you were ordering some food. But who knows? Maybe online vendors would say, nah, he said E. Okay. Great. Hey, Mango Guy, ni hao. So if you are enjoying this, please let me know. If you enjoyed this reading, please go ahead and check out the Chinese Dojo. Okay, go ahead. This is my platform. Okay. I've been developing this with my team for over a year. On the Chinese Dojo, please join the waitlist. I haven't even released it yet, honestly. But if you go to thechinesedojo.com, you can join the waitlist, put your name and email there. I promise I won't spam you. I'm only going to send you information when this is ready and to help you get the best deal. So what is the Tones Master course all about? You're going to get video lessons that are kind of like this live stream, right? Where I go through theory and get a bunch of opportunities to practice. Then you're going to be quizzed on your knowledge. You're going to listen to real audios recorded by real human native Chinese speakers. And then you are going to send in your audios, okay? And I will grade them, or someone on my team will grade them. This isn't done by AI. Because honestly, the Duolingos out there and the other platforms where they have their AI tools, they don't get down to the bottom of what's wrong with your pronunciation. Okay, you still need a human being for this. And I'm making sure to make it very, very affordable for what people are getting. So if that interests you at all, please let me know. This is going to be fantastic whether you are new and just beginning and starting out. You're going to build a really strong foundation, and you will greatly accelerate your road to fluency. All right, this is how I learned Chinese. And from starting to learn Chinese to only learning for a year and a half, I was already on stage performing live shows as a lead in a science show where I was doing science experiments on stage all in Chinese within a year and a half, which is crazy. But you can do that too. And if you're intermediate and advanced and you already have some basic knowledge, you can have a chat, you can explain yourself, you can hold some profound conversations, talk about your childhood, talk about your dreams, but maybe you're still feeling like your pronunciation is plateauing. This is still going to be great for you, because through your recorded audios, I'm going to be able to hone in on which sounds are the sort of low-hanging fruit where we can greatly improve your pronunciation. And why is this important? You don't want to become one of those people, and I met a lot of them in China, who their Chinese knowledge and theory was very, very advanced. Their vocabulary was great. They tested as HSK 6, right? So they had a very large vocabulary set. But their pronunciation wasn't so good. Their tones were not good. So they were very limited in conversation. What happened to them? They had to go back and basically relearn Chinese. So they had to learn Chinese twice. And learning it the second time is more difficult because they had to unlearn all their tones and everything. So don't learn Chinese twice. Learn it once. Build a strong foundation. Okay, cool. So I promised some HSK 3 reading, I believe. We have some excerpts of some HSK 3 material here. So again, make sure you go to the ChineseDojo.com and join that wait list, the wait list submissions. Whoever submits on the wait list is going to get the best offer. Okay, let's read through this text, shall we? We've got some new vocabulary. We have 周末, which means weekend. 打算, which can be a noun or verb, to plan or just a plan. We have a particle used at the end of a sentence to indicate confirmation. 跟, which is a preposition which means with. Hello, Mango Guy, ni hao. And then we have a few characters in this story. We have 小丽 and 小刚. 小丽 and 小刚. So, we're talking about a plan for the weekend. All right. So I'll read through this. Maybe I'll read through this first. Listen and repeat if you can. And then we'll go through it line by line. 周末你有什么打算？我早就想好了，请你吃饭、看电影、喝咖啡。请我？是啊，我已经找好了饭馆了，电影票也买好了。我还没想好要不要跟你去呢。Oh, that's cold. Okay, so 小丽 at the beginning says, 周末 你有什么打算? Weekend, you have what plan? Or what plans do you have for the weekend? 周末, 周末, 周末. That's weekend. 你 means you. 有 is the verb to have. 什么? 什么? That means what? 打算 plan. So, 周末你有什么打算? What plans do you have for the weekend? Then, 小刚 says, 我早就想好了. 我早就想好了. I figured this out already. And he's saying 早 like I figured this out a long time ago. 请你吃饭. Invite you to eat. 看电影. Watch a movie. 喝咖啡. Have some coffee. 喝咖啡. Technically that means drink coffee, but we wouldn't translate that as my plans are to invite you to eat, watch a movie, and drink coffee, right? We would say have a coffee. 我早就想好了. Right? Oh, I've got it all figured out. 请你吃饭. Invite you for a meal. 请你. 请 is please or to invite. 请你 to invite you. 吃饭. 吃饭. That means to eat. So invite you to eat or invite you for a meal. 看电影. 看电影. That means to watch a movie. 喝咖啡 and to have a coffee. Then Xiaoli says, 请我. Invite me. So Xiaoli is surprised by this invitation. I don't think this is going well. I don't know about you, but let me know in the chat if you think... Type 1 if you think these two eventually get together. Type 2 if you think Xiaoli doesn't want anything to do with this person and it's going to fail miserably. All right, so 1, they get together eventually. 2, they never get together. So Xiaoli is surprised here. Then Xiaogang says, 是啊. Yeah, of course. 是啊. 我已经找好了饭馆. I already found a restaurant. 电影票也买好了 and bought the tickets for the movie. So I already found the restaurant and bought the movie tickets. Then Xiaoli says, 我还没想好要不要跟你去呢? But I haven't decided whether or not I want to go with you. She says, I haven't decided whether or not to go with you. E-Luxury Online says, love your explanation. Oh, great, thank you. Isn't the question particle missing in the third sentence? Oh, Scooby, you're probably thinking of ma, the question particle which denotes a yes-no question. That could, you're correct, and good noticing this. That could have been used here. You could say 请我吗? But it could also be obvious that they're asking a question by just saying like 请我, like invite me. So the ma definitely indicates that it's a yes-no question, and not every question is a yes-no question, or based on what is being asked, it's not technically necessary to always have that. 晚上好啊, 晚上好, Ginny. Yeah, what am I doing like at 7 a.m. on a Saturday? Live streaming. I'm not sure, I'm not sure if we don't have many viewers right now because it's 7 a.m. on a Saturday, or... And actually, I don't think that's it. I think it's because this is my first time doing like a horizontal content stream on YouTube, and I heard that their algorithms are a little different. But this is a great chance, since we don't have many viewers right now, we have a very intimate setting, so you can get all your questions asked. Introduce yourself in the chat. Let me know where you're from, why you're learning Chinese. Right? This is it's like we have a small focus group right now, which is awesome. Okay. So that's the first page. Let's go to, let's see, do we have a second page? Oh, that's interesting. So the next page in the book flips to, looks like different people. So we're going to have to stay tuned for what happens with Xiaoli and Xiaogang. 中国现在10:50. It's 10:50 in China. Oh, so Ginny, are you in China? Are you Chinese? That's great. I'm teaching Chinese to Chinese people who are in China right now. Okay. So here we have mama and 儿子, mother and son. Mama. Mama. That's first tone, neutral tone. Mama. Mama. And 儿子. 儿子, which is second tone, neutral tone, which means son. 儿子. All right. So let's look at the vocabulary, shall we? So the vocabulary in this little section, we have 一直, 一直, which means all of the time or continuously. 一直. Some people will pronounce this 一直. It's a little less common, but 一直, there's something called an E-tone sandy, which will amend the tone on E depending on the subsequent tone. Definitely a little more advanced and thorough, but you can learn all about that at thechinesedojo.com. Please sign up for the waitlist. I promise you will not be disappointed. Thechinesedojo.com, my site, a program I'm putting together. It will double or triple the speed at which you become fluent in Mandarin Chinese and really, really help you out. Anyway, so we have 一直, then we have 游戏, which is a game. 游戏. 作业, homework. 着急, which means worried or anxious. And 复习, to review. 复习, fourth tone, second tone. 复习, 复习. All right. Nina says, Xiaoli, I did ask about his plans first, though, so maybe they still have a chance. Oh, let me flip back. Oh, that's, wow. Honestly, I feel like, yeah. See, as a guy, or maybe it's just me, maybe I'm kind of dumb. I did not pick up on that signal. But Nina saw that signal. Xiaoli did ask Xiaogang what his plans were for the weekend. Xiaogang replied with, I'm inviting you to the movies and for a meal. And then Xiaoli was like, well, I don't know if I want to go with you. So what's going on with Xiaoli? That's right. She's like, hey, what are your plans for the weekend? Oh, I don't know if I want to go with you. Okay. A little confusing, Xiaoli. Good point there. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, she might be interested. I'm excited to see that story progress. Okay. So now let's read through this new passage and see what we got here. So, mama. What is the mom saying? Mama. 你一直玩电脑游戏，作业写完了吗？你一直玩电脑游戏，作业写完了吗？ You are continuously playing, and notice the rhoticization of the wan. So wan means to play, but the R sound, war, is giving this word a kind of Beijing accent, if you will. All right, so 你一直玩电脑游戏. You're always playing computer games. 作业写完了吗? Is your homework done? 作业, remember, 作业 is homework. 写 is to write. 完 means to complete. And this is a grammar point in this lesson, I believe. When you take a verb to completion, it's basically saying, is that done, right? 写完了吗? So you're always playing computer games. Is your homework finished? Then 儿子, the son, says 都写完了. It's all done. 都 means all or both. 都写完了. 都写完了. Okay? Then the mama says 明天不是有考试吗？你怎么一点儿也不着急？明天，明明明明明明明明明明天明天。So that's second tone, first tone. 明天 means tomorrow. 不是有考试吗？ Don't you have a test tomorrow? 你怎么 You, how, a little bit, not anxious. If we directly translated that, it would be you, how, a little bit, not even anxious. Or how are you not even a little bit worried? How are you not even a little bit worried? 明天不是有考试吗？你怎么一点儿也不着急？ And then 儿子 says, 我早就复习好了。I reviewed this a while ago. Right? I took care of this already. 我早就复习好了。I took care of that a while ago. I reviewed that a while ago. And then Mama says, 那也不能一直玩啊。那也不能一直玩啊。So the mom doesn't care that the son has already prepared for the test. She's like, well, you still can't always play the games. So mom says, you're always playing computer games. You're always playing computer games. Is your homework done? He said, it's all done. She says, don't you have a test tomorrow? How are you not even a little anxious? He says, I reviewed that a long time ago. She says, well, you can't just continuously play games. I'm sure this is kind of like a common theme in a lot of Chinese new media. Like the Chinese TikTok is called Douyin, and a lot of young people make skits about themselves and their parents having dialogues just like this. Because in Chinese culture, homework and studying is taken extremely seriously. Super, super seriously. And so I think a lot of young Chinese children, especially those who like playing games, probably have had dialogues like this. Scooby, isn't dao also used as a completion word? Potentially, if you're talking about arriving somewhere. If you're talking about arriving somewhere or obtaining something like 得到. Yeah, obtaining something. You could use 到. 好 is also used a lot to discuss the completion of something, especially with a positive spin on things, right? Like if you're done eating, you could say 我吃好了,我吃好了, which simultaneously means you're done eating and it was satisfying, right? 我写好了,写好了. I'm done writing something and I'm pleased with the result. Please do more, let's see, random stuff says, please do more direct literal translations. I find them more helpful than the natural translations. Oh, I'm trying to do both. But in this one, right? So in the last sentence, Mama, 那也不能一直玩啊. 那也不能一直玩啊. That's also, you can't continuously play. Right? So in this context, meaning, well, you can't just always play games. Okay. Awesome. So one more time, this dialogue. 你 一直玩电脑游戏，作业写完了吗？都写完了。明天不是有考试吗？你怎么一点儿也不着急？我早就复习好了。那也不能一直玩啊。All right. I'll say that maybe a little faster. Maybe something that's approaching more colloquial speed, and see if you can pick out some of these vocabulary words, all right? 你一直玩电脑游戏，作业写完了吗？都写完了。明天不是有考试吗？你怎么一点儿也不着急？我早就I'm like trying to act it out, making myself crack up. 我早就复习好了。那也不能一直玩啊。那也不能一直玩啊。All right. How's that, everyone? Again, if you're enjoying this, please, as you're listening to me read these words, pronounce these words and sentences, repeat after me. We want to get these sounds into our ears and out of our mouths. We want these tones, these initials and finals to begin to be downloaded and cemented into our muscle memory. It's not only going to happen through the ears. You have to try to imitate. Imitate, practice, practice, practice. Okay. What do we have here? 水果、面包、茶都准备好了。我们还带什么？手机、电脑、地图，一个也不能少。这些我昨天下午就准备好了。再多带几件衣服吧。我们是去游泳，不是搬家，还是少带一些吧。All right, very cool. So in this, the vocabulary that they're focusing on, we have 面包, 面包. That is a fourth tone, first tone. 面包, 面包. Then we have 带, which means to take something along or to bring something along. Okay, then we have 地图, 地图, which is fourth tone, second tone. 地图, 地图. Then we have 搬, 搬, which means to move. That's a first tone. Notice it's at the higher end of my normal speaking range. 搬. And it's high, steady, flat, and unchanging. By the way, guys, can you let me know, is the stream, is it smooth? Is it smooth? Is it laggy? Can you please let me know if you're encountering any lag or anything like that? Okay. Type, please, in the chat if you can, type smooth if it looks smooth and you can hear me smoothly, or type laggy if I'm lagging and stuff. That'd be super helpful. All right. Let's see. When says, oh, Scooby says at the beginning it hung itself a little bit. Okay. 可以问一下吗？你可以解释由的语法吗？这件项目由小明负责。Yeah, yo is an interesting one. It's kind of like belonging to or according to, right? So in that sentence, it would be like this program, right, is the person responsible for this program is Xiaoming. So they're letting you know that it's the quality of the responsibility belongs to that person that they're naming. Yeah. Okay. So let's read this one a little slowly. We'll go through this together. 水果 水果 fruit 水果面包 bread 茶 tea 茶 tea is in the tea that we drink. And the tea that I should have been drinking, the tea that I should have been drinking for my voice, all right, that's cha. Cha. All right. 水果面包茶都准备好了 So the fruit, the bread, the tea, all prepared. 我们 we 我们还带什么还带什么 What else are we bringing? So 水果面包茶都准备好了我们还带什么 We still bring what? We still bring what? Or what else are we bringing? Then, 小丽, oh, look, it's 小丽 and 小刚. So I guess they've already progressed. Look at that. We have 小丽 and 小刚. So I circled those as I said their name backwards. So we have 小刚 and 小丽. But look, Nina was right. They went from talking about maybe going to the movies and having a meal to now it's like they're planning a full-on picnic. And they're going swimming. Okay, so things are progressing with Xiaoli and Xiaogang. All right, so Xiaogang says, 水果面包茶都准备好了我们还带什么 Then Xiaoli says, 手机 phone 电脑 computer 地图 map 一个也不能少 we definitely need to bring all of these things. So she says phone, computer, map. Then she says one of them cannot be without. That's kind of yeah. So we don't construct our sentences that type of sentence like that in English, right? One of them we cannot be without, meaning we definitely need our phone, computer, and a map. Right? These are essential. We have to have those. 手机、电脑、地图一个也不能少 Then 小刚 says, 这些我昨天下午就准备好了这些 these I yesterday afternoon already prepared. All right? So 小丽 is like 小刚 We need our phone, our computer, and a map. And we definitely need these. And Xiaogang is like, girl, I got you. All right? I prepared these yesterday. Calm down. 这些我昨天下午就准备好了 Girl, I prepared these yesterday afternoon. I know you. You're my babe. Then, 小丽 says, 再多带几件衣服吧 So Xiaoli is saying, we need to bring more clothes. 再多 So to add more, bring some articles of clothing. 再多带几件衣服吧 Pack some more clothing. Pack some more clothing. And then Xiaogang says, we're going... Oh, we're traveling. We're traveling. Oh man, I read that wrong before. I thought they were going swimming. They're going traveling. 旅游. Oops. Sorry, I'm reading off my iPad, which is over here. But they're going for a trip. All right, they're going for a trip. They're not moving. They're going for a trip. They're not moving. So we're going for a trip. 不是搬家 Not moving. So 还是少带一些吧 So we don't have to bring that so many clothes. All right, we're just going for a trip. We're not moving. So we don't need to bring so many clothes. I've definitely had conversations like this throughout my life. I used to pack a lot more. Let me know in the chat, when you go for a trip, do you pack too many clothes or do you pack just enough or not enough? Who knows? Let me know in the chat. When you travel, are you a heavy packer? Are you packing a lot of clothes that you don't need, or are you packing just enough? I'm trying to optimize my packing. Okay. Xiaogang says, I'm going to read through this again. Try to pick out the vocabulary words that are of interest, right? We have 面包, 带, 地图, 班, or pick out any words that maybe you just learned as we were going through. 水果、面包、茶都准备好了，我们还带什么？手机、电脑、地图一个也不能少。这些我昨天下午就准备好了。再多带几件衣服吧。我们是去旅游，不是搬家，还是少带一些吧。All right, so I'll do that one more time, just a little more slowly. Try to repeat after me. Look, honestly, if you're in a place where you can just repeat after me, try it. Try it. 水果、面包、茶都准备好了，我们还带什么？手机、电脑、地图，一个也不能少。这些我昨天下午就准备好了。再多带几件衣服吧。我们是去旅游，不是搬家，还是少带一些吧。Random Stuff says, I'm guilty of packing as little as possible in terms of clothes. Nina says, I try to pack things that I truly love and enjoy wearing. Y'all do better than I do. Okay. Well, I hope this has been helpful, everybody. We've done a lot today. It's already, we've gone past the hour. Look, I would greatly appreciate if you found this helpful. If you found this helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps out a lot. Please comment, like, subscribe. I'm going to try to reply to as many comments as I can once this gets posted on my account. Please share it. Please tune in for future live streams. And also, if you found this helpful at all and thought, hey, I want my tones to improve. I want to build a strong foundation. I want to reach fluency or professional fluency much faster. Please join my waitlist at thechinesedojo.com. Fill in that little form. I promise I will not spam you. Again, I've been building a very robust, awesome program for over a year. I'm going to be releasing it soon, so the people who are on the waitlist are going to get the best offer. There are 3 pillars in the course, basically. And by the end of the course, you will be able to pronounce every single sound in Mandarin Chinese with every single tone. You will be able to pronounce every single sound with all of the tones in Mandarin Chinese. It's going to build a rock solid foundation, which is going to help you become fluent so much faster. And every basically chapter has a video lesson, kind of like this live stream, with theory and practice. Then there are quizzes where you test your knowledge. And then there's a practice section that involves speaking, reading, and listening, where you will listen to native Chinese speakers, real human beings, no AI. You will record your own version, and then you will be graded by me or by someone on my team. Right now, I'm the only one doing the grading. So I'm grading people's tones, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, that's right, Bogdan. Tones are difficult. You'll pick them up only by practicing. That's 100% correct. And you need people who have a discerning ear for tones to be able to tell you what you're doing wrong with your tones. I'll show you right now. I'll show you kind of what this focus group is looking like right now. If I pull up my phone, let's see. Because this works on mobile. So go to thechinesedojo.com on your mobile device, Now I don't want to, let's see. I don't want to give away any information that is like confidential of any students, but this is kind of what, oh, sorry, there's a glare. There's kind of a glare. The course looks like that, right? And then if we go into the tones module, for instance, there's, like I said, video, practice, quizzes, but the quiz sections, I want you to see what that's like, right? So a quiz section, or a practice section, trying to not get the glare, would look like this. It says listen and repeat. Can I turn this up?
Na, lai, nao, mo.
And then there's a little microphone icon where you record your version. Na, lai, nao, mo, ni. So we should be able to hear what I just recorded.
Na, lai, nao, mo, ni.
And then that would get submitted along with all of the other, like there's not just one, right? We make you do a lot. So there's not just one there. We make you do a lot. You submit those, and those actually get graded by me, right? So we help you just learn how to slam those tones and all that pronunciation. Thank you so much, guys. Let's see. I try to pack things that are, just subbed. Thank you, random stuff. Thank you so much. Bogdan says tones are difficult. You'll pick them up only by practicing. Will there be only pinyin or also characters? Oh, there will also be characters. There will definitely also be characters, Scooby. So in the beginning, we go over pinyin. Now, because it's a tones and pronunciation course, it's rarely only characters, okay? It's rarely only characters. I think I always have the pinyin transcriptions because this is the Tones Master course meant to help people really cement and confirm their 100% accurate Mandarin Chinese pronunciation. In the future, I will release courses that are more advanced, like HSK 3, 4, 5, 6, or business Chinese and things like that, and people, or maybe just a character-only class. But for the Tones Master, where we are really trying to confirm tones and pronunciation are all correct, those transcriptions are always there, but the characters will show up as well. So for instance, let me go into a later module. Let me pop into a later module. So like something like this, right? Where you see like read the sentences. And then you're asked to actually press that microphone button and read off those sentences. So you'll see the characters, the pinyin, and the English translation. So you have context for what you're saying. One moment. I am trying to get my my phone to connect back to this live stream. Maybe that's not going to work anymore. But that's okay. Let's see. It says my stream's current bit rate is lower than the recommended bit rate. Recommend to use a stream bit rate of 6,800 kilobits per second. Okay, I'll keep that in mind, YouTube. I will have to look into that. It's probably because I'm trying to do a lot right now, and I'm using a computer that's not the greatest. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you so much. Again, my name is Kenan Heppy. Okay, you can call me the Chinese Tones Guy. And we're going to wrap up the stream now. But I do want to remind you that Chinese changed my life. It helped all of my dreams come true. I'm a professional actor, and I realized that there aren't many professional actors, Western professional actors, who spoke Mandarin Chinese. And I knew if I could learn Chinese, I would have a good shot at potentially being in Chinese movies and TV shows. And I could not have predicted what happened next. I became famous in China. I got to work with world-renowned directors and producers. You can find me on Amazon Prime even, and some of the biggest shows in China. Sometimes people recognize me on the street or in subway stations and train stations in China, because over there I have millions of followers on social media, and they've seen me in big movies and TV shows. Chinese literally helped me reach a huge new market, and it helped my dreams come true. And I think that could be true. In fact, I know that that's possible for everyone else. So no matter what dream you have or what skill you have, if you learn Mandarin Chinese and stack it on top of the skills you already have, you will greatly increase your income potential. You'll greatly increase the number of relationships worldwide, fruitful relationships you'll be able to have. If you have a spouse or partner who's Chinese, you'll be able to reach them on a deeper level, speak the same language and maybe connect with them on a deeper level. So it's great for interpersonal relationships. It's great for business. And it really is a skill magnifier, really is a skill magnifier. So again, please subscribe and go to thechinesedojo.com and join the waitlist for the Tones Master program, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic Saturday. Really, really thank you so much for being a part of this with me today. I'm going to try to have more regular streams. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. Join that waitlist. You can also contact me at, contact@thechinesedojo.com or the Chinese Tones guy at gmail.com. But please join that waitlist. And thank you so much, everybody. Good luck. Pay attention to those tones. And I will see you next time. 下次见. 下次见. I'll see you next time, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic Saturday and a great weekend. Great weekend. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye.